it would have been a heck of a race if the 88 hadn't been there. He's very, very, very smooth. I bet he didn't miss a line that far the whole race. I think even though he dominates the road courses, I think all the drivers and the crews and everybody accepted him really good.
And respects him real good.
They definitely better respect him.
But you know, they're doing more on the burnouts. I mean, they're burning them cars down. We talk about how easy it was on the car during the race, and then he gets out and abuses it. So,
and then he tears the car up on a burnout, right?
Well, I'm not sure.
All right, what did you think about this road race? You know, this track is really a road race track.
Yeah.
Okay, and it really caters to people that are good on road races.
Who was good on road racing yesterday? Did you notice anybody?
Yeah, who was second best, right? You know.
Well, it was okay. Yeah, it is a road race track, you know, Richard. And I think we was up there before they put the dog leg in it, or the bus stop.
Yeah.
I guess the bus stop.
We did, yeah.
And but that helped the race because
it slowed
made
everything
it a lot
down.
safer.
Yeah.
But
anyhow, the race probably went like the racing people thought it was going to go. It surprised me that the 12 car run as good as he did, as long as he did. But the separation came when they made pit stops. The way their strategy flowed, and the 88 car's strategy was perfect. In other words, it was almost a perfect race for him. He let the 12 just go spin himself out. I mean, just run himself to death. And I guarantee you, he was sitting back there just casually keeping up.
He is so easy on his tires.
Yeah, well, he's just
the transmission.
He's very, very, very smooth. Okay, and I bet he didn't miss a line that far the whole race.
But you're talking about the 12 car now. He probably had a second place car until they made a slow pit stop, and then he had to use his.
He used his, and then a couple of them passed him. But it would have been a heck of a race if the 88 hadn't been there.
Well, I was going to say that, but
you know what I mean, because I guess the third place guy passed the second place guy on the last lap.
Yeah,
and we've been up there where that's happened 2 or 3 different times. But it was really a very, very clean race. The only caution they had to have was somebody hit somebody and there was something on the racetrack. And the deal was a bunch of people spun. Most of them got a little bit of help, but they were able to continue on. And so the race got over real quick because of that. So, you know, after watching the trucks run and the Infinity run, I mean, they was tearing up cars and trucks. Yeah. It was pitiful. You know what I mean? And then the Cup stuff comes in and looks really professional because they run and they didn't have those big wrecks. But on Saturday, that 21 car caused a lot of trouble. He was just digging, but he caused the big wreck at last.
Yeah,
but
and he just come off a suspension.
Yeah, but was it the 88 car, the boy that won the race?
Yeah.
Anyhow, that car was so much quicker
than the rest
than any of the rest of the cars. I mean, even on Sunday, the 88 car was quicker, but not that dominant. I mean, that car and that boy just dominated. I mean, he could start in the back, and 3 or 4 laps he could be in front on a road course. That's how quick he was.
35 cars out of 39 finished on the lead lap, and everybody was running.
Yeah, and then they didn't have that many. The cautions usually keep them up.
And it's just that far.
But I tell you what, they kept the camera mostly on the top runners and stuff. But them guys back there, 15th and 20th, they was racing, man, kind.
But that's like every week.
I know, but they was really having a big time back there, beating on each other, and it didn't really show that on TV, but they were busy people back there.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a pretty good race, and it would have been better if the 88 car hadn't have been there. It would have been a lot more interesting, I think, to the spectators. But everybody knew that if he didn't have trouble, he's going to be right there. And he's just that's his field. a lot of the people we used to race with or run now were really good on short tracks. And then you had another group that was really good on super speedways.
Yeah.
Well, he happens to be really, really good on road courses. Now, if he learns to get around and around and around track, he's going to be tough. But, I think he's won 4 races, and they all been on road courses.
But he's gaining on the circle track.
Yeah, he is a lot better than what he was starting.
So that's going to help him at Charlotte, and we're not counting him out for the Roval at Charlotte. By no means.
Are they going to run the Roval?
Yes.
Well, I thought this was the end of the road race.
Well,
it'll be tough there
too. You have to start paying attention.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start looking at the schedule to find out where me and you got to be. Okay.
Well, yeah, I hope I'm able to go that one. Yeah, I don't know, Richard, but when the schedule comes out next year, should we put his initial by every one of the road courses?
We put him over in another group. Yeah,
highlighted or something that. Or let him go ahead and pay him off not to come and have a good race. I don't know, but have you ever met him?
No, I hadn't really.
But he's come in with a good personality. He says everything.
He's fit right in. I think even though he dominates the road courses, I think all the drivers and the crews and everybody accepted him really good
and respects him real good.
They definitely better respect him.
Marcos was like that too.
Yeah, he came in and just joined the crowd, and nobody really put him over in a different category.
And I don't think he's said anything wrong or anything. And he's just head and shoulders above everybody on the road courses. Races. But we was in Australia several years ago, and he's from New Zealand, somewhere close to. But do you remember how friendly the people were down there?
They were to us, I know, everywhere we went. Yeah. But they just welcome, hey guys, how you doing, all this kind of stuff. I really, really enjoyed that trip down there.
Yeah, I did too.
Then I understand him a little bit because he come from such a different background than what all our crowd did.
Yeah,
but the only competition I see him coming up is that kid that won the race on Saturday.
Yeah.
He's 19 years old. The 88 driver's somewhere 36, 37 years old, something like that.
I don't know, yeah. Golly, it's just a freak thing that he hurt himself, but I'm not big on them celebrations. And
not the way they do them.
and the burnouts, I don't like that.
Yeah. I don't like that either.
But they're doing more on the burnouts. I mean, they're burning them cars down. We talk about how easy it was on the car during the race, and then he gets out and abuses it. So
and then he tears the car up on a burnout. Right?
Well, I'm not sure what all it does to it, but it can't help it. You know what I mean?
So we get back to regular racing this weekend. We're going to Richmond, right?
Yeah, and if you remember, the 3-car kind of dominated the race up there last year, Richard, and they had a late caution.
Definitely did.
And then he had to wreck 2 people to maintain
if
the
they
win.
hadn't had that last caution, he was going to win the race with no problems. But then that got really confusing the last lap there, where he had to knock out 2 people and still won the race.
But Richmond's changed a lot from when we seen it. You never did run it when it was dirt, did you?
We won a bunch of races when it was dirt.
Well, I know your daddy did. I remember being up there when it was dirt.
Yeah.
And we took a convertible up there.
Yeah.
Before when Lee was somewhere else. I don't know. But I don't know. The 43 had a pretty good day, Richard. He got knocked around some. And right there at the end, he gained about 4 or 5 positions.
Yeah, he was pretty steady all day. The big deal was that he was just about a second slow. But the way it worked, their strategy got him from 20th place to 12th place.
Yeah.
So
he had better tires right there.
Right there. He had, and them, some of those guys had done slowed down 10 seconds. That was up in front of him, so he was able to. But I think he passed 2 cars on the last lap because they just couldn't run at all because the tires were wore out.
But but when you get in the window where you don't have to stop again, he gambled a little bit of staying out. But it paid off for him because at the end of the race, he
lost a little time there, but he made it back up because his tires were so much better than the guys in front of him. So they basically all it was for us, for the 43 car, 12th place is almost like winning, especially on a road course.
Well, let's don't say that, but it was a good race for him.
That's the way it is.
Okay, bud.
Look, you asked me. You got all the people in NASCAR, all their PR people, all the sponsors, everybody's trying to figure that out. So asking me to tell you how to do it is ridiculous, I guess, because I don't think there's any one answer. I think it's a multitude of deals. Over the years, it's come to what it is today. Do you separate that, or do you go to another new page in the book? So it's going to be interesting to try to get the people back. But you got to figure, competition for that automatic entertainment dollar is so much more than it was 10 years ago, 20 or 30 years ago, because you got so many more sports, you got so many kids doing other things besides messing with a car.
I'm like Richard. I don't have the answer, but one thing I will say, the car of today, the race car of today, does not resemble the cars that the fans drive. And I'm not saying that's difficult. I'm just saying that's what's happened there.
Basically, it's him. Okay. And then you look at, I guess the number one car is also a partner with them, and they're on the same team. And he just is so much better than one driver on road courses. Now, when you get to a regular racetrack, it goes around the other way. The one's better than the 88. So he is just, again, this is his. It's like a rabbit getting in a briar patch. It's his briar patch, and he knows his way around.
Yeah, he brings that car alive, and it makes it easy on strategy to figure it, and fairly easy on the pit crew. If I was a crew chief, I'd tell him, okay, take your time and make sure not to make no mistakes, and I'd tell him not to make no mistakes on pit road, because they created such an advantage with him driving the car.
You know, I'm never a big deal of like Dale with the burn house, but another deal of the guys getting out of the car, jumping up and down on the hood. You know, hey man, you know, this is. I don't see that as part of racing, okay, even though they brought it in. And it really is dangerous, because it really showed up on Saturday how dangerous it can be, because these guys, a lot of times they're fatigued, they're busy looking at the fans and stuff, not paying attention to being safe. So I would think that NASCAR would probably come up and say, okay, we can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what NASCAR might do about it, but I guess the boy really, I mean, he had to miss a race, and I don't know how many more he'll miss, but I don't see jumping up and down on the horse that got you there.
He done nothing, okay? That's the reason I go on vacation. Most people go on vacation, they get up, they go out on the beach, or they go climb a mountain, or, you know, they go do something. I go on a vacation, and I do absolutely nothing, because that's what I call a vacation.
Back in the day, we didn't have much vacation. We always used to 4th of July at Daytona to take the family and everything, and that was kind of the vacation. And Mary's made the statement that we never had a vacation or went anywhere. I said, well, we've been all over the world. She said, only the places that they had a racetrack, so I can't argue that. But, yeah, such a different world. I think one time we run 62 races, so do the math on that.